Yo fam, welcome back to another Soulful Threes Journeys podcast. I got Camp and Giso to my left today. A little bit different, might show up different for you like usual. This is the podcast where we blend mental health, fatherhood, and personal growth like a smoothie with equal parts spinach, black coffee, and unresolved trauma.
Let's go. Love that.
I'm your co-host, Lyman, and today we're getting real about something most men would rather wrestle a bear than talk about, and that's our feelings. Yeah, I said it, feelings. The stuff we bottle up tighter than a Tupperware lid on leftover shame, y'all. Listen, here's the deal. It's Men's Mental Health Month, right? That's what June's for. We've been talking about it on our TikToks and other platforms. But I've been doing some research, and there's not a whole lot of people talking about it. Not for real, anyways. And if there was ever a time to start unpacking that emotional rucksack that we've been hauling since childhood, it's right here, right now, and we're about to get after it, fellas. So today we're breaking that stigma wide open and talking about dads owning their mental health, because stuffing it down and calling it just being tired, it isn't helping anyone. So let's get into it.
Let's get it. Gentlemen, how's everybody doing, man? Gosh.
Fantastic.
Hey, man, I just want to start out by saying this. I love y'all too. Okay. I just want to throw that out there, man. I love you guys, man. And I'm excited, man. So if you don't mind, Camp, I'm going to go ahead and grab that football handoff here.
Yeah.
Let's go, run with it.
And we're going to go, right?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So listen, for me, I'm coming in this angle, right? I know for a lot of men that's out there, they probably have similar stories to mine. And I think it all stems from this: fatherless, growing up, not having a father, not being there, showing me, right? Talking about me, how to fish, how to change a tire, how to treat a woman, how to be there, how to deal with my emotions when I come up against something that's hard, how to respond to another man when he's challenging you, when he's calling you out, when he's talking down to you, how to show respect to women. These are the things for me that was lacking in my life, in my childhood, that I think should carry over to mental health for men, right? It is so important for men to be in their rightful place, generations from generation to generation. And now it makes me think, well, maybe my father didn't get some of those things to even, right, pour into that mold of what men should be and men should become. And that's a problem. And Lyman, you said something so powerful. It's not talked about. For men, it's put some dirt on it. Band-Aid too small. Don't worry about it. It'll heal. It'll scab over. But do I need ointment? Do I need? Nah, I don't need any of that. Keep going. What do you mean you about to cry? Nah, we don't do that around here. But I want to journal. I want to journal. Nah, that's for your sister. What you doing? These are the topics, man. And this is so powerful, man. So for me, what I lacked in my life, I had to go deep down and discover what really is being a man when it comes to my mental health and moving forward. And two, I want to pass something on to my offspring that they can learn from me, that they can say, you know what, dad was this, dad was powerful, dad always. So Lyman, you said something powerful, man. This is something that no, we don't want to talk about our feelings, our emotions, because it's been suppressed for so long and pushed down. And now we at a place where, okay, we can't continue to do that because it's hurting, right? The generations, it's hurting some of us, man. And if we don't grab a hold to that, if we don't take charge of that, man, it's just going to spiral down and get worse, man. That's my thoughts on it. Camp, what you thinking, bro?
Man, it's a tough convo for anybody. I just as well as everybody else here, I had that same, I didn't have the exact same upbringing. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I had the dad that was like, no, what are you doing? What's this? He didn't directly say it to me, but you could see it, you could sense it. My mom was always there for me. So, but it was still that he and I mean, I don't want to call anybody out, but I see it as he still has, things to learn himself too. So me understanding that as I grew up in my own way and trying to figure out those things pretty much by myself with, a little bit of help from my mom, but it's still a struggle. It's still not easy. And And just even admitting that in the first place, it's tough for me. So it's a little more difficult than I thought it would be trying to talk about this stuff.
Sure.
I figured just flow out easy. It'd be no big deal. We got this, but really diving down into it is just accepting that, when you needed it, you don't always get it the way you expect you should.
Ooh.
And you should be able to talk about it. You should be able to open up about it. I mean, now times are changing. Now the way we look at it, yes, it's changing, but it's not changing enough. I still have those mindsets in my head when I see my son like that. Some days he starts, tearing up or something. I'm like, okay, no. What's going on, dude? Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I almost like I pause. I'm like, do I want to just say, hey, stop crying? Because that's how I would think. That's the way it should go. I'm like, no, we're gonna step back. We're gonna think about this. We're gonna, what's really going on. Talk to me, and we'll figure it out. And it seems to work out that way, now a little bit more than it did when I was younger. But man, it's tough. It's not an easy conversation. Just feel that it definitely should be talked about more. It should be pronounced everywhere that we shouldn't be pushing these things down. It causes us to be more angry, causes more stress, causes more anxiety. It can cause physical ailments. You can get sick from holding these things in.
Yeah.
It's a process that shouldn't happen. I mean, that's kind of how I see the whole situation, really.
Yeah, for me, man, I've been talking about this for so long that it's become it's like second nature for me. It used to be really hard. Even looking through this and doing my own self-reflection, looking at my journal, digging deep again, like I always do, looking at the emotional aspect of it. It hit me hard still, and I teared up and I went deep. When I say nobody talks about this, what I'm really saying is it's just not talked about enough, like y'all have said, and I do definitely see that this stigma is changing a little bit. I'm seeing more men open up. I'm seeing people reach out to me. I'm seeing so much love on the comments. I can't even tell you how many personal messages that I've received from people with just super amounts of love and support and asking for help. And that makes me super emotional, right? Because when I say nobody talks about the heavy stuff, that was me for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm 43 now, and I've lived a decent life, a lot of experiences, a lot of failures, a lot of the stuff that we've talked about, right? It's hard to be the strong one all the time, right? The provider, the protector, the walking, I'm fine, right? But under the surface, anxiety, burnout, depression, all that stuff, right? Guilt, that you feel everything other than grateful. It can be overwhelming. It can be so hard. But more often now, to talk about a little bit, I guess something more light is I see things differently now. And I'm going to share a story with y'all that I hope I'm not going to receive a right cross from my son. But so just yesterday, right, he had his driving test for his permit. He's 20. He has autism. He still lives with us. He's a great kid, super smart. Lifts me up every day. I love him to death. And it crushed me that he didn't pass his test because I saw the pain in his eyes. And everything that I could do or say, I knew it wasn't going to be enough because he needs that space to be pissed. He needs that space to be unraveled and unhinged and not okay. And so my first messages to him was, look, this is a stepping stone for you. I know you don't see that right now, and it's okay. Give yourself a time frame. Allow yourself to be pissed. Allow yourself to be emotional. Cry about it if you want. I got two shoulders. You can cry on one of them. I grabbed him. I hugged him. I said, look, I love you, and I'm proud of you. This isn't a failure for me. Me and your mom don't look at it that way. We've grown up. We see things different. So you can look at it for failure for now, but I want you to use this as a stepping stone to build on it, because this is something that you're going to learn from. This is something that you're going to grow from. And the next time you're going to come over here and you're going to crush it. I know you're going to crush it because you put a lot of work in. I put in a lot of work with you. And that's the stuff under the surface that we don't appreciate enough, that we don't talk about enough as men, especially as dads. We've been told emotions are optional, that crying is weakness.
Yeah.
That therapy is for broken people. I'm not broken.
Not true.
I know that now. But I've learned silence is what breaks us. Speaking up is what sets us free. That's the truth. What we're doing here right now, this is that freedom that people are looking for, that men are looking for. So I'm excited to dive into this a little bit more because we all have stories like this, and how we show up is so important for our circle. And I hope that message to my son resonated with him, and that he'll use this as a tool instead of using it as something that I used to fail on over and over and over and allow it to be.
Yeah.
That's what I got. That's what I got, fellas.
Lyman, that's beautiful, man. The story and how you're there for him in that need, right? Oh, man, that is beautiful. Even with you, Camp, being there for you, what I'm saying, for your son when you was like, I want to say, stop crying, but right? That's been in us for so long, man. It's almost like something that's just been passed down through the manhood code, if you will. That's the thing, right? For eons and generations. And when I talk to people, and especially, men, right? I tell them, I said, hey, suppression equals depression. That's where that comes from a lot of times when we suppress these thoughts, when we suppress, how we're feeling, man. It equals depression because, all of us, man, I've said it before, we got this incredible Hulk button. We got this, Captain America, but we got all this coursing through our veins and things are weighing on us. And then we have to provide. Absolutely. You want to just, right?
I got this. I got this.
There. Absolutely, man. So that's what I tell people. Hey, we have to stop suppressing, right? And start pressing.
I love that. Man, that's fire. Giesel's got bars too.
Oh yeah.
Man, I'm serious, man. That is something that is so missed. And when I give that message of hope to people, because this is what we are creating, gentlemen, is hope. This is why people are like, oh my gosh, right? Like Camp told me today, and I hope I'm not stepping on any toes, but somebody on a different platform reached out to him and said, hey man, if you got a podcast, bro, this is something I will listen to every morning. This is powerful, right? We're expressing hope, man. And we're doing it in a way that's so unique, that's not seen a lot, that is going to help so many men and women to understand our angle, to see it through our lens for a little bit. I think that's going to be a powerful thing, if they're willing to see it, right? But I think having these topics, man, is so important, man. So, gentlemen, let me ask you both a question real fast. So what is something that you guys do that help mitigate some of that, man, of the stigmata of, the emotions and stuff? What's something that you do that's a positive that help you, shake out of that?
Yeah, for me, man, I'm just going to dive right into like a segue from what you were actually talking about, because I think it's still relevant, but it's this myth of male invincibility. Right? I think the biggest lie that we've been sold over the years is that if you're struggling, you're failing. Right? We talked about this last episode, and we know now. And if you don't know, go watch it.
Watch it.
We know now that is not true. It is absolutely false. It is a lie that we've been sold. The truth is, the guys who don't ask for help, those are the guys that are carrying the heaviest weight.
Ooh. And
being a dad doesn't mean being emotionless. It means showing up even when you're scared. It means being honest when you're overwhelmed.
Yes.
And so for me, I've met too many men pretending they're fine while quietly unraveling. And you guys already know, hell, I was one of them. I still am some days. I own it. Right?
Yeah.
For me, more often now than not, I reach out for help. I trust my inner circle, and I give them, like you were talking about a few episodes back, Brian, allowing those people that are in your space that you trust an opportunity to allow you to bounce forward.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't allow them the opportunity, then what service are they going to be able to provide you in your life?
Wow. Facts.
Vice versa, right? So you got to allow those people in your space the opportunity to lift you up, to help you build from the bottom up that foundation that we're trying to gain trust on, to gain motivation on, to enliven us, to make us whole again, right? Or whole for the first time, if that's what you're shooting for.
Yeah.
And so I really rely on just the other people, my wife, my kids, y'all, my community, people that I trust.
Yeah.
I'm struggling right now and I'm having a hard time. Can you just listen to me for a minute? Or, hey, I need advice. I can't quite get through this, whatever this is. I've been journaling about it. I've been talking about it. I've been making videos about it. But for whatever reason, it's still just sitting there and I need help crushing through it. And at worst, really going to get help, talking to a therapist, somebody that can really help you fine tune what is going on. What's the underlying effects here, right?
Yeah.
Shadow work that I talked about at one point.
Yeah.
Right? Doing that hard work, that self-reflection to really figure out what's the core dynamics here that are stopping you from evolving.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that definitely all fits in right where we're at. But I mean, as Gizo started mentioning, also another person reached out to me and was like, "Hey, man, I believe that you should have a podcast." I'm like, funny thing is, I've got one that we started with 2 other awesome creators. Check this one out.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it. Just start watching.
Yeah.
And back to your question though, it was the way I kind of keep myself out of that stigma, how to stay not falling back into that more or less, is I will go out of my way when I'm just scrolling through a certain FYP. I'll see those people, those dads that are just not having a good day. They'll actually reach out and say, you know, something's happening, or I just lost my job, or just this happened, or just that happened. And I'll go into their comments. You got this. No matter what's going on, tough times are now, better times are ahead. Keep pushing through. And it's something that simple. Multiple people, I'll leave it on, you know, just slightly variation, but make sure they know I mean what I'm saying. I'm not just saying this to say it. And most of them reach back out. I appreciate that. I really needed that today. Wow. You know, that really helps. And just going, okay, so if I can do that and help other people out like that, that means I can do the same by asking people for help. You know, why not? What's the difference in that situation? Mm-hmm. They're putting it out there on the internet. And I'm like, okay, well, let's take that a step further and say they can get through this.
Yeah.
And every time I get a response back, it's just, I needed that. Thank you. It's something so little. It's just a quick sentence, quick couple words, but man, it means a lot to anybody going through any sort of strife at that moment. Just to know, okay, I've got somebody in my corner that I don't even know.
Yeah.
They're willing to offer their help, even if it's just an ear, just to help me through this situation. It's almost overwhelming, you know, to realize that just those few words just helps a lot, and it's made a huge difference. And I believe that by reinforcing that to anybody, not just men alike, but just to make sure that we are here, we're going to listen, and that's what needs to be. It doesn't matter who you are, but you know, we need to get past this stigma that men aren't allowed to talk about it. It's really not getting us anywhere. Yeah. Like with this whole dad supporting dad movement going on this other platform. Insane the amount of people that are reaching out.
Wow. The
amount of people I've reached out to just to say, hey, you've got this. And they're like, okay, thank you. It's just so crazy.
Right.
So let me ask this, because what hit my mind was this. Do you think the love that men receive, is it conditional? Right, because that's deep, isn't it? I saw Kevin like, ooh, it's conditional, because I heard somebody say this before, and he said that women and babies, you know, maybe animals, receive unconditional love. Men is predicated on what we can lift, what we can provide, what we can do. What do you guys think about that? Is that something that plays a factor into some of our emotional, or why we don't talk about things?
Kind of along the lines of being just afraid to bring it up in the first place. You know, do I want to get judged for what I do or don't do in this relationship? You know, do I want to do, or, you know, what do I want to get that, what I'm assuming already is going to be bad feedback, or just because the honest, well, I'm with you for this. Right. I mean, do we really want to hear that if that's the scenario? I feel that's the biggest fear in my mind. It could be wrong, but that's how I see it as. Like, it could be the whole, well, you know what? I'm just going to keep working. You know, you do you take care of the kids at home. I'll be there if you need me, but I got to keep doing me to make sure things are taken care of. If I can't, well, then what do you need me around for? You know, that's how I see it, you know, in my mind. That's the way it's been for a long time, you know, that I've seen.
Yeah.
Brian, I love that you posed the question, man. It's heavy, but it's a real question. And the honest answer for me is no. Most of the love men receive is not unconditional. And I'm living proof of that.
Yeah.
You know, my first marriage, I was a performer.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I was not emotionally available. If I wasn't living up to the standard of what everybody else thought I should be, I was failing.
Yeah.
In my mind at the time. And especially in today's world, man. I mean, especially when it comes to mental health, which is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The love man it often feels conditional on how you perform, on how you provide, on how you stay composed, on how you can protect.
Yep.
That's where the stigma starts.
Yes.
We're talking about breaking it down, right?
Say that, bro.
It starts. A woman cries, she's expressing herself. A man cries, is he okay? Is he losing it?
Yeah.
A man says he's depressed. Yeah. He gets silence, or worse, man up, right? Tell me you haven't heard that. A man sets boundaries. He's selfish. What? That's not unconditional love. That's transactional tolerance, man.
Yep.
Based on outdated gender roles. You know what I mean?
Bro, you about made me throw my glasses.
Like we talked about, brother, like so many times.
Wow.
Don't cry. Don't be weak. Don't talk about emotions. Just fix the damn problem. So then what happens? Well, let me show you what happens. We bury our pain. We perform strength. We chase validation.
Yep.
And we mistake approval for true love.
Yep.
And worse, we stop loving ourselves in the process. And now it becomes a real issue, right? Because if you can't love yourself, how are you supposed to love someone else? And that's where my marriage broke apart. Many men don't realize how conditional the love around them is until they stop performing. It took me ending the marriage, my ex-wife ending the marriage, for me to really awaken, right? The struggle with mental health, can't fix everything anymore, all those things. Watch who stays, man. Watch who stays when you let go of that. Those are your people. Those are the people that I've been talking about for so long now, your circle that you should rely on and you should trust, because that's where it really starts, that healing journey.
Yeah. Gosh, man, that's a powerful answer, bro. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And for me, it started with one question that I asked myself, right? Do I want to be better? Do I want love? Right? And you said it, man. It starts with loving yourself, right? Because this journey that we're on, man, listen, you know, the older I've gotten and all these years that I didn't do any working on my inner self or my mentality, it's harder and harder the later in life that you do it, right? It gets so hard. And I tell people, it is an ugly thing. It's not pretty. You will cry. You will remember things in the past like, dang, okay, this is why this trigger was here. This is why I'm attached to this. This is why this emotional scar was here. But you have to be willing to go the distance and mile for yourself to make sure you're okay. And you're right. We have to break the stigmata of, well, he's stronger, faster, bigger, got money. I'm going to be with him, females. We got to break that stigmata. Listen, I want to be hugged. I want to be loved. I want to be told, hey, I just love you just because of you. Not how much is in my bank account. Not how many people I can beat off if they break it into the house. Now, that's a given. I'm going to do that. That's just the nature of it. But, right? Don't let it be this process of what can you provide for me to feel whole and safe in this home. Men are struggling out here. We're hurting out here. A lot of them are. And the more we talk about this, gentlemen, I'm telling you, man, it's really going to open up eyes, man, bro. You almost made me throw my glasses, boy. You said something so, boy, I've been called a wife. I need another pair of glasses. Listen, but that's so real, man. And listen, if anybody is out there watching, listen to the words that we are speaking, because I'm telling you, we are speaking from experience. We're speaking from love. We're speaking from a place of, listen, you can make it. As Kemp said earlier, listen, he goes into other men that are struggling and say, hey, it's okay. You got this. That little bit gives you a little bit of boost to say, you know what? I'm not alone out here. There's other men that's dealing with the same issues. And far and few between. It's not a lot of corners I can go to and hash it out in the real world. So we got to get this community, right? The band of brothers right here that we have, and really, you know what I'm saying? Stay tight and stay close and talk about things, man. That's why I love this so much. That's why I love it.
Yeah, I want to echo those sentiments for those that are watching, especially you men. That you deserve safe, unconditional, emotional love too. Not just I love you when you're winning. You need to know that, man. And if you don't, hey, let me bend your ear for a minute, because I got some words of advice for you. I've been there. I've felt that struggle, and I've lived through that pain, and I've cried many nights to sleep, not knowing what to do with myself. And you need to hear I love you when you're healing. You need to hear I love you when you're quiet, when you're not okay, and you're still trying. Unlearning that stigma that Brian is talking about starts with talking about it. Just like this, just like we're doing. Yeah. So if you need that support, we're here, man. And we are willing and able to break it down for you if you want to talk about it.
I feel the same. Right along with you guys on that one. It's just it needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be explored. You need to be able to be with somebody that's willing to go, hey, you did a good job today. It's something as simple as that. It doesn't need to be the I love you before you go to bed. It doesn't need to, I'll be just happy. Come up to me, give me a hug and say you did a good job today. Something so simple. But it means more than just what you think it is. A lot of guys don't ask for it. They won't ask for it. They probably never will for a lot of people. Probably never will. But just that simple, give me a big hug. Let's sit down, maybe have a few words about how the day went.
Yeah.
And if that can be more of a norm, I think relationships would last a little bit longer at this point.
Yeah. You're right about that, man.
As you guys started talking about this, I started to think like somebody listening to this might not know what that transition looks like. And maybe I can relate to you with this story. This transition happened for me really early in my first marriage, where I knew our marriage was broken and there was no fixing it.
Right.
I didn't know what to do with it. But the turning point for me came when my daughter looked at me, face full of concern, and she said, "Daddy, are you mad at me?" I wasn't, man. I'll tell you right now, I was not. I was just emotionally shut down. But that broke me. That put me into a different cycle because it hit me. My silence had a ripple effect on the people that I loved most. My unprocessed pain was bleeding into my parenting, and I wasn't showing up as the father that my children needed me to be. And there's nothing more damaging than that. And that's why talking about it is so powerful. So I switched my mentality that day, and I started talking from that day forward, and it's turned into this and what you see today. That's how powerful it is to talk. Because when you suppress it, like we've been talking about, and you hold it in, you're just hurting yourself. And like Camp said earlier, a lot of us are making ourselves sick. Like truly sick. It's causing illnesses in us because we're holding on to all that negativity. It has nowhere else to go. It sits in the pit of our stomach and just eats away at our soul. And so talking about it releases that. It's kind of like that. I don't know if you call it hyperbole or whatever you want to call it, right? But if you shed light in the darkness, that darkness disperses, right? And it's the same thing with talking about it. You're giving it that light, that space for it to show up and show its fruits.
Yeah.
That you can start that healing process.
Yeah. I love that, man. And it is a healing journey, and we all must go on it. We must take that time for ourselves. And here's a reality. Before you can get other people to help you on this healing journey, you first got to go yourself.
True.
A lot of times we want to hold my hand from the beginning. Nah, some stuff you have to develop out of the darkness. You have to let your light that's inside of you shine the way to keep moving forward to the next destination, right? I believe, journey and destination, they go hand in hand. You got to have what you can't have one without the other. But it's so necessary in life. And the more you really want to change in your life, the more you'll start to understand who you really are as a man, as a person, as a son, as a father, as an uncle, right? These are the attributes that equates, right? Men. And the more we go, the more we say, you know what, I have to be better. Because Lyman, you said something when your daughter came to you because of how much you were shut down emotionally. She said, boy, that would I feel that, man. That gave me chills.
I felt that when
Did you feel that too?
I literally felt it when he said it. I was quelling. I was like, no, we're not. No, it's not going to happen.
Sorry.
No, man.
No, I was too, though. I'm like, man, that would choke me up. Like, yes. I don't know how I would have dealt with that. Honestly, I would have probably just broke down. I'm one to, just jump out the box and be like, yeah, I'm gonna cry. That's just the way I am at times.
Yeah.
But that would have had me. I wouldn't have known how to respond to that.
Yeah. So it shows the importance of going on the healing journey so we can become and be what we need to be for others. It's powerful how you put it, man. It's powerful how you put it. Yeah.
But I mean, we also have to, like you said too, we have to go on that journey.
Yes.
There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have to have the groundwork. Like you said, some people want that hand holding, but you need that groundwork laid. It's like starting a business. You've got to get through the fails before you've got something to build on. You've got to get through the stuff you've got going on in your head. Otherwise, it's going to keep repeating. You're not going to get better. It's not going to improve. The situation's just going to flop back on itself again. It's not going to benefit anybody. And I saw that with many, many things that I dealt with in my life. And I'm like, why does this keep happening?
Right.
Oh, because I'm not actually working on me first.
Yeah.
And then realizing, okay, let's now I'm start to go the right direction.
Yeah. And it's imperative to do it, man, because like I keep saying, right? The Incredible Hulk, the silverback, when you frustrated, that's the first guy you're going to get. We don't have things in place. When you're not working on yourself, that's the first guy that's going to show up. And listen, he's ready to throw down at any moment. Hands down. Listen, I would get so angry that sometimes that I would go and bust my own walls up, crack my own TVs and stuff until I realized, and I was like, man, this stuff costs a lot of money. Why am I beating up my own stuff? I got to go replace this now, Yeah. That's the work I had to go and do on myself, man. And then there's moments where you explode and then somebody sees you. It's like, wait a minute, man, what? The audacity. Listen, you got to men, hear us, right? We beckon you. We're calling you. You got to go on this journey. You have to love yourself. You got to, man. It's imperative.
I love that both of you said that. And maybe the person watching this doesn't know what that looks like, right? And so I want to kind of map it out for y'all. And maybe you guys can add your own 2 cents into this. But for me, like with the story with my daughter, the first step for me was I had to admit it. Much like with alcohol or anything else, right, that you're struggling with, you got to admit that you got that problem, right?
Yeah.
I had to admit it and just say it out loud. I'm not okay right now.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The second thing for me is I really had to lean in. I had to tell somebody my story. I had to talk about it. You don't need to give them a TED talk. Just say, I'm struggling right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the third part for that is you got to move. Walk, breathe, sweat it out. Don't sit in the storm alone. Because that movement is going to start a process for you that will build the next patterns for you, breaking that pattern, that stigma that we're talking about. Change the channel from silence to connection.
Yeah.
Be the cycle breaker. Let your kids see what healing looks like.
Yeah.
Not hiding it. Because hiding it is what's going to... We talked about masks in previous episodes, right? That's the hiding that I'm talking about. You don't need that. It's a facade. You need to take that off and rip it open and just tackle forward. And you can do that through these steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because just getting, like you said, hiding it doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't. And that we're just going back, kind of going back in circles again, but it's just as building that foundation up. So it's really like when I'll go back to my story, how it kind of started for me too. When I hit that wall was when I had that last drink that I shouldn't have had. And that's what triggered that last moment that I'm like, you know what? This cycle's got to end. I've got to figure this out. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm starting 1% every day to make sure I go in the right direction. And even if you fail on that path, that's fine. Just keep going forward. Don't stop. Don't give yourself a day off. You may need a day to yourself, but that still is time where you're going to reflect on yourself. You're still working on yourself,
Yeah.
Even if you've got to escape from the family or you've got to escape from whatever the situation is, that's fine. Give yourself a little bit of time, but you need to keep pushing forward. There's going to be no benefit from hiding from it for anybody.
None.
It's just going to make your life worse. And as I'd mentioned earlier, you're just going to get sick. You're going to cause sickness in your relationships. You're going to cause sickness between you and your friends.
Yeah.
It's literally going to be like a virus. It's just going to get worse. It's going to spread. And until you lose everything.
Yeah.
And I was at that point where I was fearful of that happening. I finally hit that realization. I'm like, no more of that. None of this. We're going forward. We're bettering ourselves so that we can better our lives for our children.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I can add to that list, is to have some patience and some grace with yourself. It's going to take time. It's not a 2-week process. It's not a month process. Listen, this is a lifestyle that we're talking about.
Yep.
This ain't a quick fix. This is not an enema. Hit me here. I got to get back out there. No, you're hurt, soldier. Sit down. We got to take some time to let these things heal, man. Really. And that's what I got, fellas, man. But yeah, take some time, have some grace, right? Because you're going to hit walls. You're going to run into roadblocks. And if we're so emotionally disconnected, we won't understand how, wait a minute, I could have just walked around it. I didn't have to dig this time. No, put the shovel down. Just walk around it. Right. But we can be so clouded and from all these emotions, these roller coasters and all this stuff. And it could be just as simple as that, but you have to do it. You got to put in the work. Yeah.
That brings up a good point that I was kind of reflecting on earlier. It's the affection versus appreciation idea, right? The men aren't just missing hugs. They're missing safe, emotional acknowledgement.
Yeah.
You know, we get physical touch when it's earned.
Yep.
We get, you're a good dad after sacrifice, but rarely do people ask us, how are you really doing?
Yeah.
There's this female soldier in the Guard, growing up with her, that she just knew how to make anybody feel loved, not just men.
Yeah.
Anybody. And she would always ask me that. And it set a cycle in me to really think about, like, how am I really doing? I don't even know, right? It made me ask the question.
Yeah.
I couldn't answer her because I didn't know how to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
But what she also did for me is she gave genuine hugs, and that's kind of not appreciated in the military very much because of fraternization, right? But it was genuine for me, and I didn't look at it weird.
Yeah.
And I outranked her and stuff like that, so I'm not going to out her or anything like that. But
right,
you know, she set a precedence in me. I didn't realize how touch starved and emotionally neglected I was until she hugged me with no agenda. Yeah, just because she saw that I needed it. She knew just by my face, because I wear my emotions on my shoulders. Yeah, and I got subtitles all over my face. Yeah,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, she can see that, right? And she came up to me. How are you really doing? Yeah. She said, don't give me no bullshit. Let me know, because I want to hear it. I can see you're struggling. And she gave me a big old hug. And I almost melted down in front of her. I didn't. I held my composure, but I almost melted down in front of her because I didn't realize how emotionally starved I was, how physically starved I was. Yeah. To know that, I can speak about this. And in the process, I can feel love too. Yeah. That was so foreign to me. Wow.
It's powerful.
I know we're kind of getting to the end of the time here. I just wanted to add in at least one last thing here. Since when the time we record this, Father's Day have already been passed. Just want to make sure that everybody out there has a great Father's Day. And make sure you check in on your dad or your son or your brother. Just make sure they're doing okay. Give them a big hug. You know, they may just need it, and you may not even realize it.
Yeah. It's beautiful, man. Yeah. All the fathers out there, salute. Happy Father's Day. Continue to grind. Continue to be you. Love thyself. Learn thyself. You're going to be all right. I promise you.
I love it, fellas. This has been another great one. That's it for this week's episode of the Soulful Threes Journey. To the dads out there, from my part, you with the tired eyes and the half-done to-do list, you don't have to carry it all alone. And crying during a Pixar movie, it's not a red flag. No. That's just called being a present human with a pulse.
Facts.
It's Men's Mental Health Month. So share this episode with the brother, your dad, your gym buddy, the one who calls everything mid, but secretly listens to Coldplay on repeat. Let's keep this movement going, y'all. Keep showing up for yourselves.
Yes.
For your community. Keep showing up here because we love y'all. We love the comments. Keep stumbling forward. Keep proving that real strength starts with real honesty. Until next time, y'all, stay grounded, stay grateful, stay platinum, Giso and Camp, y'all.
Likewise, fam.
What's up, fam? It's your boy, Lyman. We hope you enjoyed episode 6. Next week on Soulful Threes Journey, we sit down with a man who knows pain, purpose, and perseverance in a way few ever will. MMA prize fighter, 22-year military veteran, my battle buddy, the one and only Mr. Soldado himself, Lehigh Dominguez. From war zones to the cage, Lehigh's journey is a masterclass in mental toughness, humility, and what it really means to fight your inner demons with the same intensity you bring to the ring. This episode, y'all, raw, unfiltered, emotional, exactly the kind of story Men's Mental Health Month was made for. You're gonna want to stay tuned. Tune in as we talk trauma, transformation, and the real cost of silence. This episode will launch 23 June. Much love, as always, fam.